In this video tutorial, you will see the enrollment process for a facility, agency, or organization, or FAOs, that would like to register with Access. The enrollment process for FAOs includes all of the steps that are required for other types of providers, such as sole proprietors, group practices, and contractors. For your reference, there are also procedural documents for all enrollment types available on the APEP website. If you are interested in learning about specific steps in the process, hover your mouse over your screen and click the bookmark for the step you are interested in. Begin your new enrollment by selecting the New Enrollment button on the APEP homepage. Then select your enrollment type. In this example, FAO is chosen. Step 1 of enrollment is to provide your basic information. All fields marked with an asterisk are required. Note that if you are an employee of a facility, agency, or provider organization and you do not have an EIN, your employer must have an application registered with Access before you can continue to register yourself as a provider. You will not be able to submit your application until your employer does so first. If you provide services for tribal members, choose one of the options from the drop-down menu. Your 10-digit National Provider Identifier number is required. If you do not have an NPI number, cancel the enrollment by clicking the Cancel button at the bottom of the page. Return to the Enrollment Type page and choose another provider type. For W-9 entity, choose the same option you reported to the IRS. For this demonstration, Proprietary Individual is chosen. Then select your for-profit status. For this demo, For-Profit Closely Held is chosen. For individual providers, an additional section will appear on this page for home address. When finished, click Finish to save the information and proceed. The application ID will be emailed to you. Please make a note of it for future reference. You may stop now and return to complete the application over multiple settings within the next 30 days. Or you may continue with the process now. Click OK to continue. Once the basic information has been completed and an application ID is assigned, you will be brought to the Business Process Wizard, or BPW. This page breaks down the full application into 13 steps. Step 1, Provider Basic Information, has already been completed, and that is indicated in the Status column. The Required column tells you which of the steps are required and which are optional. To complete the next step, click the blue hyperlink for Step 2. If you are already registered with Access, you will see a list of your locations. For new enrollments, this list will be empty. Click the Add button to add a new location. This will open up a Details page, and the location type will default to your primary practice location. All fields with an asterisk are required. Enter your street address on address line 1 and your 5-digit zip code, and then click Validate Address. The remainder of the fields will be automatically populated and validated by the information from the U.S. Postal Service. Every primary practice location requires hours of operation. Fill in these fields as appropriate. When finished, click OK. The location has now been added to the list. A note at the top tells you that a Pay-To address is required for the primary practice location. To add the Pay-To address, click on the link in the list, scroll to the bottom of the page, and click the Add Address button. A Details page opens up. Select Pay-To from the Type of Address dropdown, then complete the address details as you did before. If the Pay-To address is the same as the original, click the Copy this location address radio button to copy the address. Validate the address, then click OK. Your Pay To address has been added to the address list. With both a primary and Pay To address identified, you may proceed to the next step. Click the Close button, then return to the BPW. Since Step 2 is complete, Step 3 now has a blue hyperlink. Click it. Click Add. A details page will appear. Fields marked with an asterisk are required. Enter the phone number, communication preference, email address, and physical address where you prefer to receive correspondence. Validate the address and click OK. Click Close to return to the BPW. Click Step 4, which takes you to the provider type list. The list view will be empty for new enrollments. Click Add to open up the detail page where you will select provider type and specialty from the drop-down menus. You may ignore the Add Subspecialty section. Click OK when finished and return to the BPW. On the BPW, after completing Step 4, you will see that the remainder of the steps have blue hyperlinks and can be completed in any order. The next step is Step 5, which is marked as optional. This step would be completed if the FAO is authorizing another provider to bill on their behalf. Clicking the hyperlink opens a details page. You may choose to provide your 6-digit provider access ID or 10-digit NPI number. Return to the BPW. Click the hyperlink for Step 6 to add licenses and certifications. Click Add, and a details window pops up. The licenses and certifications listed in the drop-down menu are based on the specialty you indicated in Step 4. Choose an option and complete the other required fields. Click OK. If you have additional licenses or certifications that are applicable to this application, click Add to enter those details. If not, click Close to return to the BPW. Step 7, Add additional information, is optional. For FAOs, this link allows you to add information about bed types if applicable. Click the link, then click Add to bring up the details window for bed information. Complete all of the required fields, then click OK. When finished, click Close and return to the BPW. Step 8, Add provider controlling interest ownership details, is required. Clicking the link takes you to a page that describes who exactly should provide details of ownership or controlling interest. Read this text carefully. The Actions drop-down menu offers the option to add owner, import owner, specify owner relationships, and provide details about owner's adverse action, if applicable. To begin, click Add Owner. On the Details page, first select Type. For this example, individual sole proprietor is chosen as the owner type. The proprietor has 100% ownership in this example. Complete the remainder of the required fields Validate the address, then click OK. The next task is to enter the details of the FAO's managing employee. Every FAO must provide the details of its managing employee. Click the Action menu and select Add Owner to bring up the details page again. Select the managing employee. In this example, the individual sole proprietor and the managing employee are the same individual. Although managing employee is an owner type, they need not actually own any percentage of the FAO for which they work. Complete the remainder of the required fields and click OK. The owners list is now populated with the 2 owners identified. Notice that there are 2 columns that indicate not completed, relationship status, and adverse action. To provide details for relationship status, choose Owner Relationships from the Actions drop-down menu. In this example, the managing employee and the sole proprietor are the same individual, so the relationship chosen for both is self. Click Save to update. Note that if the owners have no familial relationship, clicking the No Radio button to the question at the top will eliminate the drop-down menus. No relationship will need to be specified. We now see that the relationship status is complete. The final thing to complete is the adverse action. Select Owner's Adverse Action from the Action menu. Click on an owner's name. Questions regarding adverse actions will be presented. Answering yes to a question will open up additional fields, allowing you to provide relevant details. Provide all of the required information and click OK. Repeat this for each owner. With relationship status and adverse action columns indicating complete for each owner, we are now finished with this step. Return to the BPW. Step 9 is related to the FAO's NPI number. Clicking the hyperlink takes you to the taxonomy list. Taxonomy is related to your FAO's NPI number. A link is provided that takes you to the NUCC, where you can find the applicable taxonomy code. Enter your taxonomy code and start date. Then click Confirm Taxonomy. It will bring back a description. If correct, click OK to complete the entry. You may add additional codes. When finished, return to the BPW. Step 10, Fee Payment, is next. Note, the individual enrollment application type is not required to pay enrollment fees, so this may not be a required step for you. FAOs, however, must complete this step. Click Add on the Fee Payment List screen to bring up the Details page. Select the applicable fee payment option. If you have questions about which one applies to you, refer to the FAQ. The vast majority of providers will select the Pay Fee option. After selecting an option, fill out the other fields if required, and click OK. The Payment Status column now indicates that the fee payment is pending. Click Close to return to the BPW, and you see the fee payment step is now complete. Step 11, Upload Documents, is required. A copy of any license you entered earlier and your W-9 form must be uploaded in this step. Click Add to begin uploading. A Details page appears that allows you to specify the type of document and upload it to APEP. Choose a file to upload, enter a start date, end date, and remarks as appropriate. Then click OK. After uploading your licenses, upload your W-9. Select Tax as the document type. Then click OK. Both documents now appear in the document list. Step 12 is a checklist of questions that the provider must answer before submitting the application. Each question can be answered with yes, no, or not completed. An answer of yes will require an additional comment. Click Save to save your answers, then click Close to continue. The final step is to submit your enrollment application for approval. Click the hyperlink. Clicking Next indicates that the information you are submitting is correct. Read the Provider Participation Agreement and click the checkbox to indicate you agree. Your name and the date are then auto-populated. This returns you to the BPW. A message should display letting you know your application has been successfully submitted. You can return to APEP to track the status of your application with this number. The submitted application will display in review status while pending provider enrollment's decision. You are also provided your Access ID. FAOs will need their application ID and Access ID to submit their enrollment fee. With your application complete, click Close to exit the application. To log out of APEP, select Logout from the drop-down menu at the upper left. Close the page. Then click on the round icon at the upper right and select Sign Out.